Is that what the scriptures say? Is that what the scriptures say? Do you believe in the Bible, brother? See, y'all don't believe in the Bible.
Bro, we never said that. We just asked you. I answer the question.
No. All right, did he answer my question though?
Yeah, we do.
So what's the mark of the beast? What's the mark of the beast?
Them chips in your body.
Okay, good. Why? Waka Flocka said the mark of the beast is an RFID microchip going in your body. That shows you the gospel has been preached. The word is out there. All right? We the last days. Now, let me ask you this. Is you going to take that chip?
Hold on.
Is you going to take that chip?
Hey, bro, we conversation. In conversation, you ask a question.
Of course.
You ask a question.
So what's the question? What that got to do with all hell breaking loose in America? He asking retarded questions.
Look, man, we coming into prophecy. We in the time of prophecy right now.
If he don't believe in the Bible, then he ain't. He ain't explained nothing. He asking silly ass questions.
What was the question?
Somebody grab that. Avoid foolish questions. Let's bring that out real quick. That's a foolish question.
That's all right, man.
We gonna keep going. We gonna keep going. We was looking for. Hey, don't take that chip. Don't take the chip. The mark of the beast. Don't take it.
Hey, just know that all lights is getting ready to be shut down here in America. Great, right? Everything is getting ready to switch. And this walking around is getting ready to switch. You know where I can get a market for a blunt wrap?
Hey. So you white man, right? And you what, Chinese?
No.
Japanese?
No.
Which one?
Blood. We have blood. No.
You have blood?
Literally.
Well, what your daddy is?
What's that?
What your daddy is?
What? His father is Chinese, his mother is black.
Okay, your father Chinese. So you Moab. You Esau. You an Israelite. All right? According to the Bible. According to the Bible.
That's all good. Let me ask you one question. You have been traveling outside of America?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Let me ask you one question. You have been traveling outside of America?
Yeah, I have.
You been to more than 3 countries, 4 countries?
Nah, I mean, it ain't necessary. Why?
Huh?
Why?
Sometimes what's going on, you ain't never leave this motherfucker. That's cool. That's cool.
All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And this video is going to be a response to Waka Flocka talks with Hebrew Israelites, admits the mark of the beast is the chip. That's what I'm going to call it. Now, there's a video that's been circulating among the brothers. All right, you see these brothers right here. They are now officially part of the GMS Tampa Bay camp, which they used to have their own camp, but they became a part of the GMS Tampa camp. So they had a conversation with this rapper, right? The world knows as Waka Flocka, okay? And the mark of the beast, the brothers asked him what was the mark of the beast. They pressed him a little bit, and he said that it's the chips in the body. He admitted what it was. But now, it's important to know that there was a guy on the phone. I think the guy on the phone that he had was also saying he was a Hebrew Israelite, but he was off on some kind of Islam, I don't know. But he was trying to ask questions. And he asked them brothers some kind of question, and they said, you asking stuff that ain't got nothing to do with prophecy, which I don't even know what he asked. You know, I tried to understand what he said, but I couldn't really understand it. But also, too, it's important to note that at the end of it, Waka Flocka, you know, after he admitted that the mark of the beast was a chip, you could see he seemed a little bit irritated. But at the same time, at the end of it, he tried to make it as though he made himself an opponent instead of, you know, just receiving what the brothers were telling him. Going on his way, you know, and saying, yeah, I know a little bit about it, but thank y'all, whatever. Right? He seemed to make himself an opponent because he asked him, had they ever been outside of America? And then one of the brothers said, yeah, I have. Why? You know, and then the other brother said, well, why is that important? And he was like, well, how you going? And then he said, have y'all ever been in more than 2 or 3 countries or something like that? And then it was like, why does that matter? And he was like, how you going to tell me about something you ain't never been out of the country? Well, at the end of the day, this is something that's given to us by way of the Holy Spirit. It ain't got nothing to do with us being worldly or having been well traveled or any of that. You know, but this shows that what? This dude is basically, he did that to throw, you know, to try to make it seem as though he wasn't he had to make himself an opponent or in opposition to the brothers because he's worried about, you know, the, how do you call it? Really, he's worried about the elite seeing that and then, you know, bringing a scandal on him, taking his money. He don't want to have to go through a humiliation ritual or, you know, have his money taken away. Which at the end of the day, man, Waka Flocka is of the world, okay? Even if he knows that the mark of the beast is chip. He's of the world. Because why would he turn around and, you know, and then go against the brothers like that? So you have to, you know, watch out for these celebrities because you remember they are linked into the world and they don't care about the truth. They just care about whatever they doing. That's why he turned and, you know, and said that to them brothers. Well, let me ask y'all one question because he wanted to seem he's a lesser luminary is what he is. The celebrities, the movie stars, the entertainers, they are what's known as lesser luminaries. So what they'll do is, you know, he want to seem like he got knowledge. He can't let it look like some guys on the street, right? Some guys on the street that know more than him. So he got to seem like he's you know, trying to one up the brothers. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All who don't receive our truth, our word, they're going to perish. Let's go real quick. Let me bring this up. Matter of fact, here we go right here. King James Bible with the Apocrypha. Come on, baby. Go. I got to look this scripture up. Let's show more. Yeah, this thing tripping. So let me just go over here and I can look it up quick. Even without internet, extol it. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus 13:23, and it says, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. You see, and this is what Waka Flocka is doing. He don't regard none of their brothers are saying because we're not rich men. That's why he wanted his word to prevail, but guess what? He gonna get destroyed. Here it is. You done admitted. You know that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. You should have been like, damn, there's somebody else that knows the chip too. You should have been like in oneness with them, but instead you had to come back with an ignorant, with an ignorant ass question. And the brothers did the right thing, man. They just went on, whatever. You celebrities, you really think that your shit don't stink. You think that we gotta jock you. We don't care nothing about what you doing, man. We know what you had to do to get that money and what you got to do to keep it. At the end of the day, you're going to wind up broke. Your ass still under the curses just like us. And you ain't better than us. Let's read that again. It says, Ecclesiastes 13:23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Right. When a poor man speak, they say, what you talking about, nigga? You ain't never been out of the country. Why should I listen to you? You ain't never been in more than 2 countries. I've been all over the world. I know more than you. But you don't know more than us. Now, I also want to mention to you other Israelite groups, how is it that a celebrity in the world knows what the mark of the beast is and you niggas don't? We told you what it was. It's the RFID chip. Revelation 13:16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. See that? And what is that mark? Well, when you go into the word, Salakia, into the word mark, it is a etching or cutting under your flesh. You go to the word charagma in the Greek, is what it is. What does it say? And even when you look at those other words, let's see here. See this? Look at this. Charagma, when you go into this right here in the Vine's expository dictionary, what does it say here? Look at this. Graven, from charasso, to engrave, impress. You see that? Character, to impress. Mark or stamp, thing graven. See that? So, denotes a stamp, impress, translated mark in Revelation 13:16 through 17. See graven. You go into the word graven, from charasso, to engrave. Right, really, which we know now to be under your damn skin, man. See, it's something physical. It's not spiritual like these other Israelites try to tell you. Right here, stamp, an imprinted mark. See? A scratch or etching, i.e. stamp as a badge of servitude, or sculptured figure, statue, graven, mark. Come on, baby. You see? So this is under your skin is what it is. It's under your skin. And we don't care if nobody don't believe what we say. It doesn't matter. And the brothers asked him, was he going to take it? Now, I don't think he answered whether he was going to take it or not. But he probably will. But let's get the other part. So that's a mark, a literal mark put on a person, which really is under your skin. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. You see that? So that's the other part that nobody could ever explain. They always want to tell you what they think it is. This is idiot on the comment board earlier of Elder Apostle Hart's video, when he did this nigga, some mentally insane nigga inside of a meeting with Islam, yelling at the top of his lung about the mark is the mark of the beast is the he said it was the VAX and all of that going on and on. That's part of it. And then, nah, man. But see, it was some asshole on the comment board talking about I could break it down for you. You can't break shit down to us, man. We the ones breaking it down to you. No, if you can't understand the breakdown, and we done did so many videos on the MOTB, we ain't worried about it if you different Jakes can't get it. Now, I wanted to mention that this video, it's been out since last week. Several brothers made responses to it. I never got around to it. So this is my, my little response now, because I ran into another video of it on TikTok. and it kind of had really went out of my mind, but I came across it again. You see? Now, let's get the punishment. So when that mark of the beast hits, as we continue to warn people, don't take that chip. You're going to be destroyed. We don't care what these other Israelites told you. You, this man want to put a chip in you. You see what Yuval Noah Harari said recently, right? About AI and it being, taking over and all of that. These elites, man, they just coming out with it. There's certain of them coming out with it. The technology is a key thing with Esau. So technology is going to be used in the end time deception. They want to mark you, chip you so that they'll know, what you're doing at all times. And we don't care who don't believe it. So if you take it, you're going to be destroyed. Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image. What is the beast? The beast is the empire, the Roman Empire. This is the beast. What is his image? His image is this system, this current system. Okay? Now, again, the beast is America, NATO, and the EU, which is the Roman Empire. The system is the image. And receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. The mark is what? The RFID chip. So if you take the chip, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Right. You're going to be hit when you in the lake when America get hit with nuclear destruction, with the nuclear warheads, you're going to also join in that destruction. The Lord is not going to save you. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Okay. So also to note, right, that mark of the beast is getting out there. The truth is out there. So if you take it, you know, you're going to be destroyed. And there's no excuses for it. There's no excuses. And the Most High is no respect of persons when it comes to judgment. That's really what respect the person is talking about. It doesn't mean the Lord don't care what people you're from. It means that nobody is above judgment, no matter who you are, even if you one of his people, which Waka Flocka would appear to be one of his people. But at the end of the day, hey, them celebrities, they love money. They don't love the Most High. All right? And that was just it. I just want to hit you with a short video. I'm going to go ahead and close. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
All right, let's start off by saying Barakat Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rucha Kudash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is a part 2, usury, false balances, and unjust weights. And pretty much is just a continuation from where we left off earlier. Now,
receive his mark in his forehead, see, that's something different, you know, because you have people, they may worship the beast. Once again, the beast. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Kahalayim La, Allahayinawa, Abanawa, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash, Kahalayim La, Allahayinawa, Abanawa, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. All praise to our power, our Father, Yahweh, in the name Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honor unto our teachers, the elder apostles, and all the bishops, the great millstone, who still rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of Israel, the house of David, beginning with the 144,000. All right. Shalom to you hopeful elect out there, whoever you may be. All right. Welcome to another update of the MOTB. It's the CHIP. And I'm going to entitle this one, The Vision is Speaking. Okay? The vision of this mark of the beast system is speaking. All right? Now I'm going to start off reading this here. This is a Facebook post. All right. It says Tech Vision YT's post is recently put up on Facebook. All right. This is under Tech Vision YT. It says 1 day ago. In Sweden, thousands of people have voluntarily implanted tiny micro CHIPS in their hands to unlock doors, access gyms, and even validate train tickets with a simple scan. These implants are small NFC CHIPS placed beneath the skin and work like contactless cards. While still in early stages, the trend is gaining attention and sparking discussions about convenience and privacy. Many see it's a glimpse, or excuse me, let me read that again. Many see it as a glimpse into the future of personal identity technology. Though currently limited, the potential for wider adoption is significant. And that's the point right there. All right, wider adoption, because very soon it's going to be made mandatory. It's not going to be voluntary. There's not going to be an option. Everyone is going to have this. Okay? So let's read that again. Though currently limited, the potential for wider adoption is significant. Over time, such implants could become a common method for verification. And that's what we're saying. All right? That's all we're saying, us here at Great Millstone. Us here at Great Millstone, we've been saying this. You know? This thing is coming to an head, man. All right? Over time, such implants could become a common method for verification, access, and even payments in everyday life. Let's read that one more time. All right. Over time, such implants could become a common method for verification. All right. You're going to be verified, you know, your identification being verified. Are you who you say you are? Okay. Because everything is going to be on the charagma. All right. Everything. So it says a common method for verification, access. So access to anywhere, you know, access to a restaurant, access to a store, to the gym, you name it, you know, access to things in your everyday life, and even payments in everyday life. There we go. Hence the prophecy in Revelation 13 and 16 down to 17. You see? You know? So once again, this thing is coming to a head, man. All right, we're approaching a time in prophecy where everyone is going to have this. You know, it says here at Great Millstone, us here at Great Millstone, we speak about this prophecy a lot because we understand that this is the most major prophecy before Yahweh shall return to this earth. Okay? Aside from World War III, this is the prophecy we need to be speaking about the most. Okay? You have the charagma, which is the mark. All right? You have World War III, and you have the second coming of Yahweh Shai. All right? Those are the things we speak about the most. All right? But the charagma, the mandatory CHIP, has to be made mandatory before our Lord comes back. And before this place is destroyed, the charagma has to come. Okay? Now, for those of you that are familiar with this TV show called Fallout, they just came out with a second season, you know, which I'm not really up on it. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really watched it. But you know, when you watch the first episode of the second season, it features the charagma. All right. Now we're on the website Nerdist.com. It's on the television. What is Fallout season seconds mind control device, and why is it important? Read that again. What is Fallout season seconds mind control device, and why is it important? Which is very synonymous with what Elon Musk is implanting in people's heads, you know? And this is one of the characters here. You know, his name is Mr. House, all right? But you watch this this episode, you know, the first scene, you know, in the second season, first episode, they show you Mr. House slapping this device on the back of somebody's head, you know? You know, this particular construction worker, he slapped this device on the back of his head, and that device began to control that guy's mind. You know, Mr. House told that man to pretty much get rid of his friends, and you know, and the construction guy started beating up his friends because this device was controlling his head. You know, and for people that take the charagma, you're giving Esau Edom total control over you. You know? And you have to check the episode out yourself to see what I'm talking about. But you see the device in the back of this man's head, you know? It controlled his mind. All right? And see, Esau Edom has been showing you what they're bringing to the earth. They've been showing you for some time now. You have the movie called Upgrade. You have the main character. What was his name? Was it Gray? Been a while since I've seen the movie Upgrade. But basically, he took this this particular CHIP that was called STEM, and it was put in the back of his head. All right. And that man was paralyzed, you know, but he began to walk again by way of the charagma, you know. But yeah, pretty much you have to watch that episode of Fallout. Once again, this is in season 2, episode 1. All right. And this is what this is what they call revelation of the method. All right, predictive programming. Esau Edom, he shows you what he's going to do before he actually does it. All right, but at the same time, he's showing you what he's doing or what he's getting ready to do, really while he's already doing it, because there's people that have the charagma right now. All right, as we showed in this Facebook post here, there's over 4,000 people in Sweden that already have it. Okay. Sweden has implanted thousands of micro CHIPS into people's hands to replace ID cards, credit cards, train tickets, and keys. And that's just in Sweden. What about Spain? What about Germany? All right. A lot of these European countries are being used as a model for what's coming to the entire planet Earth. So once again, there's a lot of people that already have it, man. You know, they already got it. So this isn't science fiction. You know, what they're showing you in Fallout, this particular TV show, is already happening. Okay. You know what? Let me do this real quick. Movies that show people with micro CHIPS. See what pop up. They may give you a good list. And these are just some of them, all right? Several movies explore the concept of micro CHIPS implanted in humans, often highlighting themes of control, identity, and technology. Here are notable examples. The movie The Matrix. It shows you that the Neo had the charagma, you know, and who was it, Trinity? But basically, he had to get that taken out of him, you know. All right, you had this movie here, it was based off of an anime, Ghost in the Shell. You had a movie Upgrade, I was just talking about that. Elysium, iRobot, The Island, and there's many others. That really doesn't even come close, man. You know? What about Safe House with Denzel Washington? What about Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington? All right? Some other movies. I want to say the movie Gemini Man with Will Smith. There's a lot of people, you know, or a lot of movies rather, that show people with the charagma. Okay? I mentioned the one movie, The Final Cut with Robin Williams. Okay? But there's many others, you know, Hunger Games, etc. There's a lot of movies that show people with the charagma, man. But once again, that's called revelation of the method and predictive programming. All right. All right. Now this is on Oriate AI, which is a blog website. The rise of human CHIP implants, a glimpse into the future. And they're talking about Sweden. There we go with Sweden again. In Sweden, a quiet revolution is taking place. Over 4,000 people have opted to implant tiny CHIPS no larger than a grain of rice into their bodies. This isn't science fiction. It's happening now. These micro CHIPS serve various purposes, from unlocking doors and accessing public transport to sharing social media information with just a touch. But as we keep showing, you know, through the spirit, this technology is still in this infancy, because Esau Edom plans to do a lot more with it. You know, they plan for the internet to be on these, you know, CHIPS. You know, imagine walking up to your office door and simply waving your hand instead of fumbling for keys or access cards. In Finland, citizens are embracing similar technology, embedding CHIPS in their palms that monitor health metrics and control smart devices seamlessly. And the thing about it, this is a prophecy that pertains to the entire planet Earth. Okay? It's going to be worldwide, man. All right? Sweden, Finland. And once again, you have Spain. All right? You have Germany. Let me type that in, man. Thousands of people in Germany. Just to see what come up, you know. Would you look at that? It is under AI summary. In Germany, thousands of people have opted to implant micro CHIPS for various purposes, including convenience and security. So once again, there's many European countries that have already opted to have this technology, man. You know? But just wait and see. It's going to be worldwide, you know? And there's going to be a little resistance, but really the majority of people going to take it, man. You know? There's going to be minor resistance. But yeah, you can look more into that on your own. I just did that because we have to fact check everything, you know? We fact check everything. All right, so back in this article here. All right. It says this trend raises intriguing questions about our relationship with technology, while some may find the idea settling or invasive. Many see it as an opportunity for enhancing convenience and efficiency in daily life. And when it boils down to it, people that's taking this charagma, they're really lazy, man. They're easy as hell because here it is. You already live in a society that's based off of convenience, you know? But it's not enough for people. But it also shows you this is something that the wicked elite of Esau Edom are pushing. They're pushing for this, you know? The procedure itself is relatively straightforward. A special needle injects the CHIP beneath the skin without significant pain. Yeah, it's quick. But what does this mean for privacy? As we merge more closely with technology, concerns arise about data security and personal autonomy. Who controls the information stored on these CHIPS? How do we ensure that such advancements don't lead us down a path where our every move can be tracked? And that's the thing about it. You're handing over all control to these people, okay? To these international bankers. Interestingly enough, this isn't just limited to practical applications like unlocking doors or tracking fitness levels. There are potential medical uses too. Implantable microelectrodes could one day help treat neurological conditions by monitoring brain activity directly, a concept once confined to speculative fiction, but inching closer to reality each day. So once again, it's not science fiction. As artificial intelligence continues its rapid evolution alongside these technologies, we might soon find ourselves at a crossroads between human capability and machine enhancement. And that's the thing about it too. They're going to propagate to you that if you don't have this technology, you're going to be left behind. Which in a sense is true, because how can you compete with somebody that has a damn CHIP in their heads and they can just download information? You know? Case in point, you know what I'm saying? Some of us, you know, we're studying languages. We want to learn different languages. But how can you compete with somebody that can just download a damn language and say their chip? Well, excuse me, you know, said the word. Well, it don't matter. You know, they watch our videos anyway. Sometimes we speak in code, but you know. The point is, how can you compete with that? You know? How can you compete with, you know, a being, they can just download information into their charagma. You can't compete with that. So, you know, in a sense, you will get left behind. But that's okay. Because for those of us that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we understand that us not taking that, really we're far more advanced than people that have it. You know, so we're getting left behind to this world standard. But really, what the Lord has in store for his elect, we're going to be the real superhumans. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to raise up a standard. Every once in a while, you hear us speak about spiritual power. Okay? So for people that take the mark, they're the biggest dummies they could ever be. You know? You're really going to be handicapped because you're going to be limited to what Esau Edom wants you to be. You know? They want to sell to you that people don't take it are going to be left behind. But really it's the other way around, you know? But let's read this again, and we're going to get something else. As artificial intelligence continues its rapid evolution alongside these technologies, we might find ourselves at a crossroads between human capability and machine enhancement, which people are going to enhance themselves with this technology, all right? So that they're telling you they're selling to you in order for mankind to keep up. In order for mankind to keep up, you have to merge with this technology. It's pretty much what they're saying. An intersection filled with both promise and peril. Yeah, because you're going to be destroyed if you take this technology. This is to your detriment, you know? So here's my question. If given the chance, will you consider having such a CHIP implanted? Would you embrace this leap towards becoming part human, part machine? And your answer should be no, if you're an Israelite. Now, if you're an Edomite or another nation, it doesn't matter what you do, you know? But for you Israelites out there, you shouldn't want to take this, all right? You should not want to take it. Now, just bear with me, Baba Kashah. I'm going to get something else for you. There's a few articles that deal with this. And I pray this is edifying also. Before I continue on, I'm going to get some of these comments. Hey, that's right, brother. You watch that movie Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington. They show you that Denzel has the mark. A couple of movies. You got Manchurian Candidate and Safe House. And didn't Safe House come out with a part 2? Wasn't it a sequel to Safe House? If I'm not mistaken, you know. But if that's true, there's 3 movies where Denzel had the mark. Let me fact check that, man. What we say, prove all things, right? Wasn't it a Safe House 2? Okay, it was. Hold on. Right, Khan. What are, hold on. They're pretty much speaking about a series that came out as well. You know? But yeah, I thought that was a Safe House 2. But they're pretty much showing you that the Safe House that Denzel played in, that was the second one or the remake. You know? Based off of what I'm looking at right here. But they also came out with a series. You know? There was a Safe House TV show. But yeah, going back to the brother's comment, you know, going back to that comment, you had the movie Manchurian Candidate and you had the movie Safe House. Both movies starred Denzel, and in both movies, he has the charagma. In both movies, he has the mark. All right. A few other films. You have those James Bond movies. You know, if I'm not mistaken, you have Casino Royale. But it's a few of those James Bond movies. A few of those James Bond movies, they show you that he has the mark. Okay? He has the mark. You know what I'm saying? Another movie, Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone. All right? Everyone in the movie had the mark, but they showed you a scene where Sylvester Stallone's character was getting implanted with the mark, but really everyone had it. You know? All right, another what is a cartoon? You know? It's a show, but it was a cartoon. Futurama. All right, in that cartoon Futurama, what was that character's name? You know, stupid character. All right, but basically he was frozen, but he woke up in the future. Was it Fry? He woke up in the future. You know, he got undawed. You know, well he got thawed out, so to speak. But basically, when he woke up in the future, he was implanted with his job chip. You know, for those y'all that know what I'm talking about, you know, that one cartoon called Futurama. But basically, there's a lot of TV shows, cartoons, even, you know, movies that show people that have the charagma. So if it's just some science fiction, you know, baloney, all right, if it's something that's just made up, why is it all throughout popular media? You know, this is an agenda, man. Okay, it's real. And everything I mentioned, you can look up for yourself. And there's far more than what I mentioned. I'm not even scratching the surface. Okay? There's a lot of movies and TV shows and even cartoons that came out in the 90s that show people that have the charagma. All right? The 90s, early 2000s. Okay? So let's get into this, man. This is on securityboulevard.com. Will 2026 see a chat GPT moment for micro CHIP implants? As Hollywood imagines a future, imagines our future, our brain and human micro CHIP implants nearing a Chat GPT moment in 2026, medical progress collides with privacy fears and state bans. But the thing about it, privacy fears and state bans, it will not stop prophecy. It's prophecy, you know? So it's still going to happen. Science fiction or real life in 2026. I find that Hollywood fiction, though over sensationalized, often brings to life what is coming next regarding how technology will impact life. Put simply, people often understand these movies and TV shows better than what is actually happening in the real world. But they're showing you what's happening and what's getting ready to happen. From War Games in the early 80s to Mr. Robot in 2015 to the Copenhagen test today, the people and process implications of new technology can become more real for viewers in these dramas. Meanwhile, headlines continue to progress regarding implanting CHIPS in humans for various reasons. Consider these stories already published in 2026. Right? And the thing about it is everywhere, man. You know? So they're pretty much showing you, no matter where you go, you're not going to be able to escape this agenda. You know? And I'm just going to jump down to where it says final thoughts. You can get the whole article on your own. You know? Under final thoughts, it says societal opinions are still all over the map on this topic of implanting micro CHIPS in humans. There is widespread support of the use of implanting CHIPS in humans for medical reasons and curing diseases. Less support for just enhancing brain functioning to compete with or enable hybrid AI, and strong reservations and even bans being issued by state governments for the mandatory declarations from companies who could try to require implanting CHIPS in staff. But what are you going to do when it's the actual government behind it, or rather the shadow government? So state bans are not going to be enough. Esau Edom, by way of his agenda, can override that. You know? They can bypass or supersede those state bans. Then what are you going to do? Okay? They can override it.
Shabbat Shalom. Just got off the plantation, so I'm going to make this quick. I ain't got a whole lot of energy. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, even the elders that came before them, tell us the truth. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word and truth and sincerity to all who like Tabernacle of David. I'm the elder Yashawan, and I just want to say a couple of words in exhortation. And those words are man up and patiently endure. That's all you got to do. Man the fuck up and patiently endure until the end. Man up and patiently endure till the end. Let's get man up. Okay? Show yourselves. Show what? Yourselves. VES. What? Let's see. LVES. Elvis. Show yourselves. Let me just click on it. What? The M word. Fam? No? Take it to heart. Let's see. Take it to mind. Take it to heart. You rebels? No. I can't think of it. And show. A man. That was it. Show. I just saw it. Self a man. Slovakia. What does that mean? All the way of all the earth. What is that? Let's get that. My time to die has come. Be confident and determined. I am headed down that road that everyone who lives on earth travels. So be strong and demonstrate that you're a grown ass man. Okay, so that means whoever this is having a conversation. Who is it? I can go back and check, but this is Elisha Salakia. This is dumb. Okay, when the time drew for King David to die, he gave a charge to Solomon, his son. So this is what we're dealing with. Okay? Show yourself a man. I'm about to die, son. Man the fuck up. Okay? All right? That's what's being said. And it's being said to us right now. Okay? I want you to be strong and brave. Okay? Be strong and be courageous like a man. Okay, so where did we start? We said man up. All right? So this is what you have to do from here to the chariots. This is an exhortation. All right? Man up, patiently endure. Man up and patiently endure. Here's man up. 1 Kings 2:2. I'm about to pass away. I'm about to go the way of all the earth, he said. So be strong, act like a man. Take courage and be a man.